Well, hello everybody, Bug Eater 64 here, and today we are gonna do our very first ever flight in Captain Sim's C-130, which released just a short time ago. Now, this is an updated version of his original C-130, which was basically just an exterior. This has the interior, the cockpit. The one shortcoming, its systems are pretty well done. I enjoyed flying it. It was a great fun to do in this flight that you're going to see today. We flew from Galveston, right on the ocean, down to Mexico. So it was about 310-mile flight, and we did it in the bird just fine. Now, one thing, it has the very old autopilot, which is basically a gyro flight, very much like the old DC-6 type before they upgraded to the Garmin. But you know, it's a basic one. It works okay, and so it doesn't go very in depth with that. The other real shortcoming in this thing is that there is relatively no documentation. There is a minute checklist on just how to start the engines, but I basically used a checklist and memory on how I started the C-130s in X-Plane. So this is in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and you know, the airports are okay in this. They're generic. So there is parts of the taxiways and so on missing. It's hilarious. But that being said, we're going to do this flight, go through the startup procedures, the flight, and you know, just see how things go. I hope you enjoy it. I had fun bringing it to you. This is the latest thing from Captain Sim, and it's good to see him getting back to closer to where he used to be. He made some good modules in the past, and this one is acceptable. It's not great, but the shortcoming is you can't go from the cockpit to the cargo bay. You can only look at the cargo bay basically either from the outside on the ground, or you can use the remote camera and go through the skin of the aircraft to get him back. There's no going back and inside. If you just try to go through the wall, it's not a very good picture. So that being said, let's get in the cockpit and let's get things going. See you inside. So here we are at Galveston, early morning flight. Don't know why the landing velocity showed up on the screen, but it did, so we'll be just pretending that's not there. Cloudy day, but no rain. And no rain predicted. So let's get the flashlight on. The aircraft looks pretty good. You know, I'm using my Warthog HOTAS. The sun is rising. So. Okay, so let's get the battery on. And get ready to Alright, let's see about getting the APU started. Okay.
Houston clearance delivery Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 ready to copy IFR clearance to Del Norte.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 is cleared to Del Norte Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 32 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure frequency is 134.45 squawk 5542.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 cleared to Del Norte Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 32 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure on 134.45 squawk 5542.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 readback correct. Contact ground on 118.625. Good day.
Okay, so we got our clearance. And we get the fuel pumps on. Generators. Okay. Okay. Engine 1. And it's spooling up. Turn the flashlight off. Because we've got enough light so we can start this up no problem. Okay, engine 2. Mixture to full rich. Now with my Warthog HOTAS, the way I've got it set up on the throttle is that my two main controllers actually control the throttle on two engines. And I've got it set up to control 1 and 4 and the other throttle for 2 and 3. That way I can actually taxi with just 2 engines. So let's get the panel light. There we go. We can see things a little bit better. And there we go. Okay, so we've got good 4 engine starts. So the nav lights are on. Okay, so we can turn off our APU. So we've got the engines running, generators are on. Just trying to figure out things. Like I said, this aircraft did not come with any documentation, which is unacceptable. Hopefully there'll be some updates, and we'll see how that improves. I think it's unacceptable that there was no documentation. I've even gone to the Captain Sim website. There's nothing there that I can find. So But this is our very first flight, so we'll see how things go here.
Ground Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 ready to taxi IFR.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 taxi to and hold short of runway tree 2 via taxiway Bravo. Contact tower on 120.575 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway tree 2 using taxiway Bravo Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130.
Okay, so we can get ready to taxi. The signage on this particular airfield is a bit confusing. Okay, so we're going to runway 32. And you can't actually fly with the rear cargo ramp down. You can only have it down when you're on the ground. So okay, now let's see. So we're supposed to use taxiway Bravo, and see that signage, that tells me that 32 is to the right. And 14's left. Okay, so But I'm thinking I should be making a left, but I'll do what they say. See, that signage is wrong. So that's very confusing here at the Galveston Generic Airport. See, there it says 32. This is actually taking me to runway 36. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back taxi down here. So this is actually, I'm crossing runway 32. So that signage is just all wrong. So we're going to go down here, we're going to back taxi on 36. Okay, so then we'll make a left on the taxiway that goes from 32 to 36. So then we can get down to the hold short at 32 and finish getting ready to take off. We'll call for takeoff clearance. Go ahead and put our flaps in takeoff configuration. And here we go. Yeah, if I'd gone made a left where I made on the taxiway there, I'd have come straight to 32.
Tower Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 ready for IFR departure runway 32.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130, altimeter 29.902, wind 268 at 5. Cleared for takeoff runway 32.
Cleared for takeoff runway 32 Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130.
Okay, so flaps are in takeoff configuration. Alright, let's extend. Everything's right. Okay, so we're going to do a rolling takeoff. Add power. So our turbo engines are spooling up to takeoff speed. And there's 100. And rotate. Positive rate, gear up. And we'll turn onto our heading of I think it was 241.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 contact Houston, departure on 134.45. Good day.
Going to 134.45 Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130. Houston departure Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 is at 1,100 feet climbing 10,000 feet.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 Houston departure altimeter 29.9er 2 radar contact. Continue.
Okay, flaps up. And put on the autopilot. And our heading, our course should be about 234. Continue to climb. We can make adjustments here manually for the okay, so this is very old autopilot. Basically you can set a heading and but you can't put like a GPS anything like that. And Captain Sim has no plans of at this time, as that I know of, reading his information, that he's going to like update to a more modern thing. So okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn off the taxi lights and so on. Okay, so everything looks good. Climbing nicely, have an airspeed indicated of about
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 contact Houston Center on 133.4. Good day.
133.4 Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130. Goodbye. Houston Center Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 is at 7,200 feet climbing 10,000 feet.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130, Houston Center altimeter 29.902 radar contact continue.
So we've got an indicated airspeed of about 270, 265. Everything's looking good.
Houston Center Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 would like to cancel IFR.
What?
Houston approach Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 is type 10 miles east of Niner Tree X-Ray Sierra 8,300 feet. Request flight following.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 Houston approach. Squawk 4 tree 75.
Squawk 4 Tree 75 Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 radar contact 9 miles east of Niner Tree X-Ray Sierra 9,000 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
Roger Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130 contact Houston Center on 128.6. Good day.
Going to 128.6 Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130. Houston Center Bug Eater 64 Charlie
let's
Sierra
put the
130
nose down
9,800
some.
feet.
Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 130, Houston Center
Okay, we're at
altimeter
10,000 feet.
29.902 radar contact continue.
So let's level her off. Okay, so still climbing a bit. Trim it up some. We are on our way. So just checking, flaps are up, lights are off. And it's a pretty day for this flight. And everything looks good here. Gonna get rid of this clipboard. And we will just speed things up here. It's only at 300, 310, 300, just over 300 mile flight. Okay, so we are on approach here. So we are descending from 10,000 feet. Indicated airspeed is 260. And let's increase our descent. You have to be a little bit careful here because the mountains can come out of those clouds and grab you by the tail. Okay, we're at 8,300 feet on our way down to about 1,600. If I remember correctly, the airport's at about 1,500 feet, so we'll try to be a little bit cautious and cognizant of that. Okay, everything's going quite well. The flight has been pretty much uneventful. Okay. 6,000. We'll add in our first set of flaps to help slow us down. So we started our descent 29 miles from the airport. So autopilot off. I have the aircraft. Okay, so okay, yeah, going a little too fast. Okay, geared down and locked. Runway in sight and straight ahead of us. Okay, I'm gonna be going fast, but I do have reversers and I've got them set up on my HOTAS. Hopefully they work. Hopefully I set them up properly. Otherwise, this could get interesting. Because I'm going too fast. I'm down to 160. Yeah, touchdown's going to be probably about 150 plus. And long landing. But if the reversers work...
64 Charlie, Sierra 1 tree, 0 contact ground on 122.0.
Going to 122.0 Bug Eater 64 Charlie Sierra 1 tree 0.
And yeah, these generic... okay. Reversers didn't work. But touchdown was at minus 152. So that's something I'll have to look at. Okay, so just look at this. Whole section's missing. Oh well, it's something we live with. So let's clean her up. Let's get the flaps up. And there's the Marshall. So we'll be making a left and heading over to that parking area. Okay. So here we go. And we are done. Set the parking brake. Call it a day. So, first flight ever in Captain Sim C-130 is complete. All right, well, there you have it. And as you could see, I have this set up in Microsoft Flight Simulator on my HOTAS as C-130. The reversers, which I've had problems in other sims, I've just got to fly it and figure out the configuration, and I could not get the reversers to operate properly with my key bindings. So as you saw, we ran beyond the airfield. The landing was long. I was really over speed on the landing. I was doing about 152 miles per hour. My touchdown was minus 152, so that's not bad, but it was long. And if I'd had the reversers working properly, that still would not have been a problem. But that's probably something in the key bindings that I haven't figured out yet. Other than that, the landing went very well. The aircraft handled fine. So it's a good module. And I look forward to flying it some more. But that being said, it's fine for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I think right now my favorite module is the freeware in DCS, and I'm going to make a flight on that not too distant future, and we'll see how that goes. But all in all, this is a good module. It's a definite, true improvement on what Captain Sim has done in the past, and so let's see what the future brings, especially if there's any updates, and when they come, and if there's going to be any improvement on documentation. This is sad that he did not, and I've checked his site and things like that. I couldn't find any documentation to speak of for this aircraft, which is really that's unacceptable. That's really unacceptable. But we'll see what happens in the future. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it. I sure had a lot of fun flying it. The eye candy in Microsoft Flight Simulator is just very, very good. And the weather and everything went well. Even with its shortcomings, it made it for a fun flight. So with that, this is Bug Eater 64, and as always, remember, safe flying.